Nik Nanos is here to break down his latest numbers. He's the founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Lauren.
So talk to us about the recent ballot support. There's a wider gap now between the Liberals and Conservatives. Tell me why.
Yeah, the big question is this a breakaway moment for the Liberals? They're pulling 7 points ahead of the Conservatives, 41-34. That's definitely bad news for Pierre Poilievre. The Liberals haven't had an advantage like this in quite a long time. And, the thing is, it's not good for Pierre Poilievre on the leadership front. He is trailing by about 31 percentage points. So the big question is right now, is there a new trend? The Liberals currently have the upper hand in terms of a 7-point advantage. Will they continue to widen that? And how will Pierre Poilievre react? Because he's seriously trailing his party.
All right, Nick, preferred Prime Minister Carney continues to be in a major lead over Poilievre. What are your thoughts on that?
The thing is we look at Mark Carney, he's 13 points ahead of his party. He's at 54% on the preferred prime minister front. The Liberals are at 41. We talked about Pierre Poilievre. He's at 23. His party's at 34. So think of one leader, 10, 11, 12 points ahead of his party, and another leader, Pierre Poilievre, that is trailing his party. This is bad news for Pierre Poilievre. He's got to jumpstart his leadership ambitions to become prime minister, because right now, if this 7-point advantage jumps, it's going to be even worse news for Pierre Poilievre because he's trailing Mark Carney by so much.
Do you think we will continue to see a decline in support for Poilievre?
Well, I don't know. At 23, that's not great. How far can it go? I think the big question is will the gap between the Liberals and the Conservatives widen? What will the war mean? The war that, I guess we shouldn't call it a war yet, the attack the Americans have on Iran. What impact will that be? Because many times these situations create the environment for the prime minister of the day to look statesmanlike, to talk about foreign policy. Interesting note that both are on the foreign policy front, Pierre Poilievre and Mark Carney. It's kind of like dueling agendas on that front. We don't know yet who will come out on top.
Right. The situation in the Middle East will certainly have an effect on those numbers in coming weeks. Nick, thank you so much.
Thanks.
That is Nik Nanos, the founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research.